Say it with me. The AP will do it wrong, so we're here to do it right. Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert here with our Week 4 GE Top 25 rankings. A set of rankings that follows a wild weekend of college football. Week 3 featured 5 top 25 teams going down, 2 of them falling to unranked opponents. 4 of those 5 top 25 teams are now out of our top 25, which means we have 4 new teams entering the GE Top 25 heading into Week 4. We got a lot to break down, a lot to cover, a lot of analysis to give you. Unlike the AP, keep holding them accountable. We see you guys on Twitter calling out these really bad AP voters. Keep calling them out. They need to be held accountable. They do not watch the games. They do not do it right. That's why we're here to do what we do. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Starting in our top 10, Gridiron Expert Top 25, the top 3 remain unchanged, and they shouldn't. Ohio State, Penn State, LSU, 1, 2, 3. The Buckeyes took down Ohio. Penn State took down Villanova. LSU arguably got the best win of those 3 teams, beating Florida 20-10. Brian Kelly, of course, not thrilled with the criticism from his offense. Forced 5 interceptions off of DJ Lagway, only mustered 20 points, but a win is a win. The Tigers still undefeated. Unfortunately for them, though, that Clemson win not looking nearly as good as they wanted it to be. Georgia is back up to number 4. You're going to see a lot of jockeying, I think, in the top 10 over the next couple of weeks, right? And at the end of the day, that will matter by season's end when it comes to seeding for the college football playoff. But we dropped Georgia a couple spots last week because they didn't look that great against Austin Peay. And then they go on the road to Tennessee and win that game 44-41 in overtime. To me, that was a more impressive win than Oregon's 20-point victory over Northwestern, even though the Ducks did lead by 34 and allowed 2 garbage time touchdowns. It was a more impressive victory than Miami's dominant victory over USF. Yes, USF was a ranked opponent. Yes, they deserve to be ranked. But I would still take Georgia's win, even though it was only by 3, even though they had to come back down 14, their win in Knoxville against a good Tennessee team. To me, that was more impressive. It showed a lot of fight, a lot of poise, and Gunnar Stockton has officially arrived. He had a phenomenal debut on the road. First true road game for him as a starting quarterback for Georgia, and he absolutely delivered. So we moved Georgia back up into number 4, Oregon down to number 5, Miami down to number 6. Again, not because these teams are playing poorly, but because of what Georgia did in Knoxville. Texas A&M is a new addition into our top 10. Rightfully so, right? The Aggies didn't look all that great against UTSA and Utah State, but they looked pretty dang good on the road against Notre Dame, winning that game 41-40 thanks to a botched extra point by the Fighting Irish. But the offense for A&M was phenomenal. Marcel Reed was playing lights out. The defense obviously had a lot of questions, so does Notre Dame clearly. But a win is a win is a win for A&M, and that felt like a statement victory for Mike Elko. We've seen A&M struggle so many times in games like these. They've played teams close. They can never get the job done. They finally got it done now. So they moved up from number 14 to number 7. I was even hesitant having A&M at 14th last week. Kind of felt like maybe I was overrating them a little bit. Clearly, I was not. The Aggies into our top 10 where they deserve to be at number 7. They are above a team like Illinois, who destroyed Western Michigan 38-0. The Fighting Illini are a dangerously good team, guys. They've allowed just 22 points in 3 games this season. So watch out for them. We're going to see what they can do in Big Ten play, especially this week against Indiana. But Brett Bielema's squad looking really, really good. Texas drops 2 spots and is ahead of Oklahoma, rounding out our top 10. So some people might not like to see A&M above Texas, but Texas hasn't looked great, guys. It's never a good day when your phenomenal Heisman caliber quarterback, at least what people thought he was going to be, gets booed at home against UTEP. That's not good. This Texas defense is really, really good. But Arch Manning still has a lot of issues, and you have to wonder if you're Steve Sarkisian, do you consider benching him? I know Texas is about to enter the bulk of SEC play. The games are only going to get tougher. He struggled mightily at Ohio State. Okay, understandable. Bounced back, he's decently, I guess not that great, but decently against San Jose State. That means nothing. And then to struggle as bad as he did, especially through the air against UTEP, that's a very big concern for Texas going forward. Because again, you're going to be hard-pressed to beat teams like maybe Florida in the Swamp, Georgia later on in the year, Texas A&M at season's end. Texas has a lot to figure out on the offensive side of the ball. I was not impressed with them in the slightest in a 17-point win over UTEP. They dropped 2 spots. Oklahoma up 2 spots following a big win at Temple. Yes, they were expected to beat Temple. They won that game by 39. They were only favored by about 23, 24 points in that game. So a lot of people thought Temple might hang around. Oklahoma did not allow that to happen from the start. So the Sooners, with that big win over Michigan as their biggest resume-boosting win so far this year, is in our top 10. And God, I hope we do have that top 10 matchup between the Longhorns and the Sooners here in a few weeks for the Red River Showdown. So that's our top 10. Majority of the teams stay the same. A little bit of some movement there, but A&M joins, Oklahoma joins, and Texas continues to slide. 11 through 20, we've got Georgia Tech kicking things off, and I absolutely love it. Look, I've been high on Georgia Tech all year long, and again, I should have picked them against Clemson. I felt like Clemson's defense was going to get the job done. They didn't. I should have picked them. I viewed it as a coin toss game, and the Yellow Jackets delivered. Never doubt Brent Key. Not going to happen again. Georgia Tech, though, we had them already ranked 18th. The AP didn't. They didn't even have them ranked last week. We knew what this Georgia Tech team was capable of. We were very high on this Georgia Tech team. So the AP has them ranked 18th. That's where we had them ranked last week. They are now 11th for us in our top 25 rankings following that thrilling 3-point victory over Clemson. They have the road win at Colorado, which is very impressive. I know Colorado might not be that great, but still to win in the altitude, not a bad way to do it, especially in the season opener. And then to beat Clemson is nothing to frown about either. The Yellow Jackets, guys, have a very favorable schedule the rest of the way. This is a college football playoff contender in 2025. They are right on the outside of our top 10. Very well could find themselves in it by next week. Iowa State drops 2, nearly lost to Arkansas State. So, the Cyclones were playing some really good football and then had this weird trap game in Jonesboro. And the Red Wolves, who got destroyed by Arkansas the week prior, really held their own. Did a phenomenal job of keeping this game close. Had a couple of touchdowns that would have given them the lead. Wiped off the board because of penalties. Some would say controversially. But Iowa State did survive only by 8 against the Red Wolves. That's why we dropped them down 2 spots. Obviously, they get jumped by Georgia Tech, who had a better performance, and Oklahoma, who to me had a better performance than the Cyclones. But still, undefeated. Iowa State still a force to be reckoned with in the Big 12. But so is Utah. And you're going to learn a lot about Utah and Texas Tech, who we have at 15. So you look at that big jumbled mess of Big 12 teams right in the top 15. Texas Tech at 15, Utah at 13, Iowa State at 12. All those guys are going to be jockeying for position in the Big 12 standings, and you're going to learn a lot about these teams when we get further into conference play. Utah and Texas Tech play each other this Saturday. We will have a full prediction on that game on, I believe, Thursday. We will have a deeper analysis on Utah and Texas Tech, which is going to be awesome. But the Utes overcame a very slow start. A lot of missed field goals against Wyoming. Very sloppy first half. They woke up in the second half, 131-6. Florida State is 14th, as we mentioned. They have a bye week, but slowly closing up the rankings up to number 14. They play Kent State this week. Going to be a blowout win for the Seminoles there. Texas Tech destroyed Oregon State. That's the battle I'm so excited to watch is Texas Tech's offense versus this Utah defense, because the Red Raiders look unstoppable on the offensive side of the ball. Granted, they haven't played anybody. UAPB, Kent State, and Oregon State are all horrendous teams. Utah on the road will be their first true test. But this offense is looking really, really good for Joey McGuire's squad. Been very impressed with them. And anytime, again, you can beat a technically power opponent. I know they're kind of an independent, but a power opponent in Oregon State by 31 points. That's nothing to frown about. Texas Tech up 4 spots to number 15. And that showdown in Salt Lake City Saturday is going to be awesome. Tennessee stays put. Yes, they lost to Georgia, but even Kirby Smart said it. They probably should have won. Tennessee, again, up by 14 points, had a chance to win the game at the buzzer. They missed the field goal, held to the field goal in overtime. Georgia scores a touchdown, game over. I mean, it was a really, really good performance from Tennessee despite the loss, though. And, I'm not one for moral victories. Don't really believe in them. But if you're Tennessee, while you are heartbroken, while you are frustrated after losing that game, you have to feel really good about the rest of the season, because really the toughest test Tennessee has left is probably that road game against Alabama. And even if Tennessee loses that and wins everything else, they're going to be in the college football playoff. So this team, I think, is kind of exceeding expectations. They look really good offensively. The defense is going to get better. It's still pretty strong. They just faced a really good team in Georgia. They don't deserve to fall. And if they did, maybe just one spot. But we keep them at 16. We don't move them at all because I really, really like this Volunteer squad. Alabama up 7. That's really due to the fact of the amount of teams that lost ahead of them. Their performance against Wisconsin was good. Wisconsin's not that good, but the performance was strong, winning 38-14. Ty Simpson is looking phenomenal these last 2 weeks. We'll see what he can do in 2 weeks when he takes on Georgia. That's going to be a massive game. But Alabama really not rising up because of how good the performance was, more so rising up because of all the teams that lost ahead of them. 4 teams losing ahead of the Crimson Tide. They benefit from that on top of a dominant performance. They're up to number 17. Michigan is up 4 spots to number 18. They destroyed Central Michigan by 60 points without Sharon Moore, who missed that game and then will miss this upcoming game against Nebraska. Prediction on that coming tomorrow. Do not miss out on that. But Michigan looking really, really good. Bryce Underwood looking good. This team is going to be just fine. I know they lost to Oklahoma, but still a lot of talent for this Wolverine squad. Vanderbilt cracks our top 20. How about that? Vanderbilt, who will more than likely be 5-0 when they take on Alabama at the beginning of October, which is absolutely insane. But Vanderbilt, led by Diego Pavia, went on the road and ended a 16-game losing streak to South Carolina, winning 31-7. Yes, I know Lenore Sellers got knocked out in that game. He was out early in the second quarter, didn't come back. But Vanderbilt's defense was still phenomenal. Their offense was still phenomenal. Lenore Sellers does not play defense, and Vanderbilt exploited that time and time again. Very, very impressed with what I've seen from Clark Lee's squad. Vanderbilt is the real deal. They clearly are not a one-hit wonder. 3-0, again, should be 5-0 as they enter October, and they will continue to rise up our rankings. I had them at number 19, going from unranked to 19th. Rounding out our top 20, Indiana up 3 spots, following their 73-0 win over Indiana State, as we mentioned. Finally getting a true test. Really weak non-conference. Finally getting a true test this weekend against Illinois, and we'll have a prediction on that later on this week. Rounding out our top 25 from 21 through 25, Louisville, Ole Miss, Auburn, Missouri, and USC. 3 SEC teams in there, I know. Louisville we've had ranked since the beginning. The AP does not. I still really like this Cardinal squad. They don't move, though, because of the teams that have jumped them, like Vanderbilt, because of some teams that lost ahead of them, kind of moving some things around. But Louisville, on a bye week, remains at number 21. I'm not that high on this Ole Miss squad. I know some have them in the top 15. I think that's ridiculous. I look at this Ole Miss team. They were fortunate to escape Arkansas and what was a back-and-forth shootout, 41-35 victory for the Rebels. Had it not been for 2 missed Arkansas field goals and then a fumble inside the 25-yard line in the final 2 minutes, Ole Miss probably loses that game. So I'm not sold on the Rebels. I think they're a good team. I don't think they're a top 15 team. Let's see what they can do through the bulk of SEC play. But regardless, still up 3 spots to number 22. Auburn and Missouri cracking our rankings for the first time this year. Auburn beating South Alabama 31-15. We got the Jackson Arnold Bowl coming up this weekend against Oklahoma. A prediction on that coming out on Wednesday. And then Missouri, who faces South Carolina, who's dropped out of our rankings, is in our top 25 now at number 24 after beating Louisiana 52-10. Missouri's defense playing some really, really good ball. Has not allowed more than 254 yards in a single game this year. We'll be interested to see what they can do at home against the Gamecocks. USC finishing it off, they just beat Purdue, a little sloppy at times. Probably would have been a lot worse of a win, or a bigger win for them had they not allowed Purdue to score on that botched trick play. I can't believe they still scored on that. But USC, we had, if you've watched us right on the outside looking in, they finally rise into our rankings. The first team out right now is BYU. They are number 26 for us. Very well could be in our top 25 come next week. BYU is on the outside looking in. Mississippi State, Arizona State, TCU, all those teams right hovering outside our top 25 could easily find themselves in very, very soon, or could still stay put, could still stay out, because a team that we don't have ranked in our top 30, top 32, whatever, could see a significant rise in the top 25, just like Vanderbilt did if they can pull off a massive upset. You never know what can happen in this crazy world of college football, guys. But that is our GE top 25 heading in to week 4. I know some surprises for some. Let us know what you think. Who's too high? Who's too low? Who's ranked appropriately? Who's not? We, again, are here to offer analysis, here to offer insight, unlike the AP poll, who just puts their rankings out there, it doesn't watch the game, and then faces no repercussions for it. Bring it on. We're ready for it. We will debate it with you, but we've got a massive weekend of college football coming your way, a handful of more ranked versus ranked matchups. We're starting to get into conference play for a handful of teams. It's about to get real, which means these rankings are about to get shaken up quite a bit over the next couple of weeks. We're going to be here every Monday with them, and of course going to be breaking down every game with you all year long until the end of the season. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com, home to our expert picks. We're hitting over 58% of our bets already this year, so do not miss out on that. The earlier you sign up for those, the better it's going to be for you. Again, the link for that down in the description below over on thegridironexpert.com. And once again, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on The Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.